The following episode touches on a great deal of troubling topics involving abuse of minors. Viewer discretion is advised. Feels like I'm in an episode of Law and Order or something. Bum bum dun 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 dun. I've secretly always wanted to say that. It's fine. Guys, I hope that's the last joke of the episode, because this is honestly not the episode for jokes. A lot of serious stuff in there, but I don't know. I'm here. I'm in the present with you. All right, we're witnessing this together. Honestly, I don't want to be ripped apart by YouTube comments, all right? It happens far too often. And guess what? Your boy has a fragile ego already. This is not the start I wanted for this episode, and it's fine. I just wanted to say, hey, there's a lot of really sensitive stuff in this episode, and if that's not for you, then maybe this isn't the episode for you, okay? Did I get that point across? I feel like I did. I felt a little aggressive on it, but it's fine. Let's talk about it. Oh, damn it, this isn't even the introduction to the episode. This is just the trigger warning. In a quiet coastal town where the sun-drenched streets seemed to promise safety and serenity, a darkness lurked just beneath the surface. Manhattan Beach, California was like any other quaint community, until a chilling whisper spread throughout its neighborhoods. A whisper that spoke of unimaginable horrors at a beloved local preschool. What began as a simple accusation by a concerned mother soon spiraled into a nightmarish tale of secret rituals, shadowy conspiracies, and the supernatural. The quiet murmur of unease grew into a cacophony of fear as the town became the stage for one of the most bizarre and unsettling sagas in recent history. Let's talk about it. The McMartin Preschool Trials of the 1980s are one of the most infamous examples of daycare sex abuse hysteria in the United States, culminating in what became the longest and most extensive criminal trial in American history at the time. The trials began with allegations of sexual abuse at the McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach, California, in 1983, when Judy Johnson, a mother of a child attending the preschool, accused teacher Ray Buckey of sexually abusing her son. This accusation led to an investigation that spiraled into widespread claims of not only sexual abuse, but also bizarre rituals, including satanic practices involving hundreds of children. The initial spark came from Johnson's concerns about her son's physical symptoms, which she believed were signs of abuse. Despite initial skepticism and lack of corroboration from her son or medical evidence, the police took action, leading to Ray Buckey's arrest in September of 1983. Following this, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office under Ira Rayner expanded the investigation, leading to charges against 7 employees of the preschool, including Buckey's mother, Peggy McMartin Buckey. We're not going to laugh about the names, okay? A little comical, a little cartoonish, but Peggy was a very popular name back in the 80s. It was. And Buckey, couldn't tell you, but what a treat. We continue. And grandmother Virginia McMartin, wow, just a whole family affair, huh? Well, it gets pretty dark. Oops-a-daisy. The allegations grew to include hundreds of counts of child abuse involving 48 children. Wow. Really, really rough timing with the jokes, Scott. Ha 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 ha. The case quickly escalated into a media sensation, capturing national attention with its sensational claims of satanic rituals and underground tunnels beneath the school where abuse allegedly took place. The investigation involved interviewing children with techniques that later came under scrutiny for being leading and suggestive, potentially influencing the children's testimonies. Key McFarlane, a social worker from the Children's Institute International, was instrumental in these interviews, using methods like anatomically correct dolls and puppets to coax out alleged abuse stories. The first trial began in 1987, lasting nearly 3 years. It involved Raymond Buckey and Peggy McMartin Buckey, with the prosecution presenting testimonies from children who claimed abuse. However, the trial was fraught with issues, including the credibility of the child witnesses whose testimonies were inconsistent and possibly influenced by adult suggestion. Critics pointed out the use of leading questions by investigators, which might have shaped or even fabricated the children's narratives. After 6 years of legal proceedings, which included a first trial from July of 1987 to January of 1990, and a second trial in 1990, no convictions were secured. The first trial ended with Raymond Buckey acquitted on 52 of the 65 charges, with the jury deadlocked on the remaining 13 counts against him. Similarly, Peggy McMartin Buckey was acquitted on 12 charges with 1 deadlocked. Following the first trial, prosecutors chose not to retry Peggy, but did retry Raymond, only to face another deadlock resulting in a mistrial. Subsequently, all charges were dropped, marking the end of the legal saga in 1990. The trials cost approximately $15 million and were criticized for their handling of the child testimony, the psychological impact on the accused, and the children involved. The McMartin case had a profound effect on legal standards for prosecuting child abuse cases, leading to reforms in how child interviews are conducted to prevent suggestion and coercion. The case also highlighted issues of mass hysteria and moral panic, with many post-trial analyses suggesting that societal fears and media influence played significant roles in the escalation of the allegations. Media influence, you say, huh? Interesting. That almost never happens. Oh, it happens all the time? Who would have guessed? Post-trial, there were significant personal repercussions for those involved. Ray Buckey, who spent 5 years in jail awaiting trial, changed his name and moved away after the trials. The McMartin Preschool was dismantled and the building was demolished. Virginia McMartin, who ran the preschool, died in 1995, having been acquitted, but not before her life was irrevocably changed by the ordeal. The families of the accused and the children involved also faced long-term effects, with some children later retracting their accusations, admitting to having been influenced by adult questioning techniques. Decades later, the McMartin case is often cited in discussions about child abuse allegations, false memory, and the reliability of children's testimony. One of the children involved, Kyle Zerpolo, publicly retracted his accusation in 2005, explaining how the investigative techniques used made him feel pressured to lie. This retraction has fueled debates about the validity of the original claims and the ethical considerations of prosecuting such cases. The case also left a cultural imprint, becoming a touchstone for discussions on the Satanic panic of the 1980s and 1990s, where unfounded fears of satanic cults and ritual abuse led to numerous similar cases. The McMartin trials are often referenced in academic and popular culture to illustrate how societal anxieties can lead to legal and personal tragedies. Investigations into the alleged tunnels beneath the preschool where some children claimed abuse took place have been particularly contentious. An archaeologist report in 1993 claimed to have found evidence of tunnels, but subsequent analysis suggested that these were merely pre-existing trash pits from before the school's construction. This aspect of the case continues to be debated among those who believe in the reality of the abuse versus those who see it as a product of hysteria and false memory syndrome. The legacy of the McMartin Preschool Trials is complex. On one hand, it led to a reevaluation of how child abuse investigations are conducted, emphasizing the need for neutral and non-suggestive interviewing techniques. On the other hand, it's seen by some as an example of how legal and social systems can fail, leading to unjust prosecutions based on unreliable evidence. The trials have become a cautionary tale in the legal field about the dangers of confirmation bias and moral panic in shaping judicial outcomes. In sum, the McMartin Preschool Trials were not just about legal proceedings, but also about societal attitudes towards child abuse, the reliability of memory, and the impact of media on public perception and legal processes. The case remains a significant study in the history of American jurisprudence. I know you didn't put a word in there that isn't in the English language, man. What? Jurisprudence. Jurisprudence. Hey, someone smarter than me, chime in, huh? I got the voice of an angel, but I don't know all right? It's fine. Yeah, hey, throw Scott the jurisprudence. You'll love it. No, I don't. I hate it. Thanks. I don't know what that means. What am I, a lawyer? It's fine. The case remains a significant study in the history of American jurisprudence. I'm just going to change it. I don't even know what that word means. I don't feel comfortable saying a word that I don't know what it means. I'm alone. There's no one in here. Who am I looking at? The case remains a significant study in the history of the American judicial system, illustrating both the challenges of prosecuting child abuse and the potential for justice systems to be swayed by public hysteria. Considering the impact of media and public opinion, how do we ensure that justice is served without being swayed by hysteria? Is there a modern parallel to the McMartin trials in today's news cycle? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay spooky. They shrunk me.